Women's Corner, and those are the tips for successful marriage. So, yay! Let me introduce my guest for today. Her name is Florence Carl Ogu. She is a licensed family life therapist. She is a counselor. She's a speaker, a trainer, the founder of Revive a Freak Resource Center. She's also a lead facilitator at the Practitioner Clinic, and also she's the founder of the Smart Kids and Teens Club. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're a founder of so many beautiful, amazing organizations.
What can we
What
do?
can we do?
What can we do? The work is plenty.
It's plenty, but you're doing good, amazingly well. I saw a video you sent to me recently. I was like, oh wow, this is amazing. So now let's talk about our topic. Can women ever accept polygamy? Women and polygamy. Now the truth is, do you actually think we are wired that way? Do you think we can ever truly accept polygamy?
Can we really ever? I mean, so I'm a Christian. I'm not going to go deeply into religion, but if you want to take a little tip, to when Abraham and Sarah, you know how it is, when she finally, she was the one that said, go do this.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, how did she react? So, I try to be very careful.
Yeah.
As much as possible in my profession, I don't say never. I don't give outright no's. I am also very careful with my yes, because at the end of the day, it depends on the person. But generally, the way women are wired, look at it from our mentor. Our mentor.
True.
Of course, circumstances led her to doing it, to say, okay, do this. But at the end of the day, jealousy still came in. So I think on that note, I would say that maybe 60-40.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Well, somehow, because of the human nature
that we are,
we may be smiling and we may say yes, but if you look at, most of the cases I've handled too, so I want to take it from my profession and experiences. I would say that from what I have observed, most women find it very difficult to finally accept.
So how can you now define love and partnership in the context of polygamy that maybe some women do not understand how it is for men?
Okay, so I need to get that.
Like what, men will tell you, I can love this woman, love this other woman, love that other woman. And a woman will tell you, no, I'm loving one. The other one is maybe just, I don't know what I'll call the person. But they tend to just be able to focus on one, even though we know how to multitask. But emotions is something that we do not know how to multitask with.
For women or for men?
For women. For women. We
yes.
do not know how to multitask our emotions. Now, I'm not asking as a therapist, how would you describe men being able to, love and still do partnership with women, different women, and still be, I don't know.
Are they really able to? I doubt. It's not possible. The way the emotion is wired. So there will always be a case of give 50 or give 70 to one and 30 to another. We're human. Let's not break it. So you even hear some of them still say, this one holds a special place in my heart, but I will give you a little. So I'm not sure it's possible. It's how life is wired. So you can't say you love 50-50. You can't say it's the same thing. Even with the children that will finally come out of it.
True.
Over time.
Sometimes, yeah,
over time. And I don't even, when it comes to polygamy, there are a lot of things to talk about. Because at the end of the day, even if you think you are successfully able to give the little love that you can spread among the wives and all of that, what about the children? So it goes along the way. But we are not even talking about them now. But I would say, you ask as a professional, as a therapist. So from interaction, I would say that is usually not possible. And the process of the other person noticing that there is a preference, okay, you hold this one more, or you love this one more, it causes something else, or it brings about something else. So it's really never absolute. They may not talk about it. They may not say it, but it's again, like I said before, I like not to say never, but it's almost not impossible to say that you're loving everybody equally. Yeah.
Okay, so now how about those women who have actually accepted polygamy? They took it in, and maybe some are doing well, some are not doing well. But what I don't know, what state is that woman? What state of mind, or what is the state right now in her mind that she has gotten to at a particular level, and she feels, okay, I can do polygamy? I don't know if you have an idea of the state a woman can be for her to say, okay, fine, let's do polygamy. You can marry 2-3 wives and all. What are the reasons why you think they get there?
So sometimes it's helplessness. For women get to a point, and I don't know, it's just part of how we are wired. women get to a point in marriage sometimes and they think they are just doing it for their family, for their children.
Oh.
At the end of the day, they get angry because sometimes they can't even control the desires of the man. So they get to a point where they say, okay, for peace to reign at their own expense. So most of those women, if you check, they're actually doing it at their own expense. They're not like they are totally happy. At the end of the day, there is something about love. There is something about partnership. You really, the most spiritual of all, do not want to share. And there's so many, we can share our toys, we can share our food, we can share that, but to share my man. So when a woman gets to that point that she is saying, no problem, you can do it, check the history, most likely. Most likely, she has gotten to a point where that's like the only option. Family meeting has been called on her head. She doesn't want to lose her home. She doesn't have any other place to go to. Maybe that's how she can even see the man's face.
Or maybe the emotions is not even there anymore.
Exactly. I was going to mention that. Some women get to a point where, you know what, I don't even care. It's okay. In fact, I'm even happy. It's fine. Just go. So that is still not normal. Right? That's not normal. So she has detached herself emotionally. So she doesn't even see him. Whatever you do, just provide. So at that point, the women are more concerned about provision. I shall be fine. My children should go to the best school. Okay. So such women, they have actually. So if you look at the scope of their life and everything, they have ruled out marriage and love. They are just focusing on the other side. So women like that, they'll channel a lot on themselves, become very independent, become very successful at doing other things, but they will just be in marriage. They will carry the name Mrs., but they have actually disconnected. So that can also be it, where they are not invested emotionally. They just want to be there. They don't want to leave the home. Of course, they can't leave the home, but they will just be there. And if you check, sometimes you ask them, when last did you guys even get intimate? And then you are hearing moans, yes, sometimes. That's because they're not interested. Okay, so I'm just going to ask, do you think women can genuinely, the way you have explained now, I'm just trying to second guess if there's any possibility, can they actually genuinely embrace polygamy relationships? How do I answer that question when I've not met with all women? But I tell you, from interaction, but I was discussing with someone that next year I'm actually going to be 20 years doing this. I started out working with someone. Then I started my own practice in 2013. That's not cheap. That's not expensive. That's a lot. So I'm looking at celebrating 20 years on the stage, 20 years working with family. That's amazing. Yes, that's amazing. So
when are you doing this 20 years before you continue?
September. I'm going to be 40. So I'll just do.
Nice.
Yeah. So I started out a little bit early, working with someone, and that has always been my life. So when you hear people say I worked here, everywhere I've ever worked has been family. Family.
It's beautiful, seriously. Yeah. So yes, continue with your rector.
So in my years of doing all of, I have never truly. Maybe they have not come to my office. Maybe they've been to other therapists, but I have never truly seen a woman that says, I am happy. Because women love.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Women love. They give their best. And you know what? Except a woman that is battling with other things, addiction, or that was abused, that wasn't dealt with, and now she's a bit promiscuous and all of that. But with a woman that is fine, would truly love a man and give everything to a man. So because women are wired that way, they love, they give their best. They feel betrayed. So I have never seen. Again, I've not met with all women. Maybe they're somewhere in the world, but I've not met with one. But so you hear, they may even come out to say, oh, they are fine. And they send a note, say, Florence, I want to talk to you later. And I thought we were fine when we had the family therapy session. So the truth is, how can I ever be fine? Closing my eyes and imagining that he's in another woman's hand. But you sounded very fine.
Yeah.
So based on that, say, well,
they can't really embrace. Maybe like most women can actually, they're not really
most women, yeah. So we can use most, since probably I've not met with the ones that can.
So just in just to put a number to it, what are the few things or few fears you think a woman have that is the reason why they do not want to embrace polygamy?
They are not sure about the future of their children. Number one, they are not sure about the other woman. I mean, that's part of what they have said to me. Okay, let's even assume that, Florence, I get to that point where my husband is trying to convince me that I really need another woman. How am I sure that the woman won't come and become greedy?
Right.
She will get me off. Some of them will say, I can't trust her intentions.
Even though you're trusting your intentions to embrace her,
I'm doing it because it's going to make my husband happy.
Yeah.
My husband says she's touching one wire in his head that I have not been able to touch. So it's fine. But how am I sure that she's not even doing that to come in.
In
So they
and
are just
take over.
suspect. Yes, they may not even suspect their husband. They may not be worried that the man will change when she finally comes
in.
They are more concerned
about what the woman is going to do.
And then they're thinking, when she has her children, will she not throw my own children? So it's just fears around that.
Okay, so can women actually find a sense of community and support amongst co-wives? Like let me just put it that way. Can women find a sense of community and support from their co-wives? Is it possible?
I think it's possible. I think it is. Well, if the intentions are right, if they are all on the same page. So yes, I won't say, I'm trying to be professional here.
Yes, so, you have to be.
I think they get to a point. I think I saw something. I'm trying to remember, but not in Nigeria. I think I saw a video where, and they were fine. We saw about 2 of them, 2, 3. I think it was 3. And the first wife said she was the one that went to get the other wives. And they've been living together. They've been very happy. And I saw a comment that someone said, not here in Nigeria.
Not here in Africa. Not just only Nigeria. Africans are not like that.
Yeah.
You know, even to look at polygamy, to be honest, I do not feel Africans can actually accept polygamy the way. But I feel like, you know, maybe other countries would be able to embrace this because they kind of live freely. They will tell you, we don't need to live. Yeah, we don't need to live in the same place. I could be here, you could be there. You understand?
Yeah.
Once they're having their peace, and once they need you, you are available. I think they are cool.
Yeah. So that wasn't Africa. That's one I talked about.
Definitely wasn't Africa. Yeah. So I have a question in relation to Regina and a trending video which I saw online. Okay. But before I ask you that question, I want us to go see Florence Carl Ogo doing her thing on stage. So let's go check our guest visuals and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. You're still watching Women's Canal because you heard what Florence Carl Ogo said in that video, and I have a question in regards with what I just heard. And that's the part where you said praying about your partner or praying for your partner. What is the difference between the two actually?
So you're praying about your partner, you're praying about issues, and the truth is praying about is so distracting. So you have list of so many things that he's not doing well, that you want him to break out for. But when you are praying for, that's futuristic. That's to say, God, I want you to bless. I want you to. So imagine, I want you to bless my husband. He has a business deal. I want you to help him secure it. That's praying up for, right? But when you are praying about issues, about you say he's a drunk. He's thinking about polygamy and I may not be able to tell. I want him to change. So you are dealing with issues.
Yeah.
You're dealing with issues. I mean, it's part of what some full of videos I would say sometimes. I say making your having a partner that is a prayer point rather than a prayer partner. So it's a prayer point. You're always, so, you know, I have a son and I keep saying, I say, I don't want to raise a prayer point as a son. I want to raise a prayer partner. It's a 2 different things. We have women praying, it can be men too. Yeah. But when you are praying about your partner, it's a prayer point. But let's pray together. So there's always, God, bless. You know, somebody actually said that if you check most of the prayer houses, that it's only women that you find it. They're always praying.
It's only women, they are the one morning, afternoon, and night, always there praying and praying and praying. Yeah. And sometimes I always tell people, I say prayer without words.
Of course.
It's
in the book that they read.
Yes, now it's there. So if you like, go morning, afternoon, night, do videos, stay out. In fact, start living in the church or wherever your religion is. It will not sort anything out. In fact, you're just plain ignorant. And I don't think the creator actually likes an ignorant person. No, it's not nice. Anyways, okay, let me put a fix to it. Now, praying for, praying with, and praying about. Which one is much better? But you have to pick one.
Praying with.
With is better.
Because when you pray with, it sorts out for will come, about will come.
Also, okay, amazing. All right, so I have another question, and this one is related to future. And I know it's almost impossible, but I'm just saying, even if it works out, what would need to happen for polygamy to be more widely accepted amongst women?
To be accepted?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
If it's possible.
If it's possible. I don't know what you want me to, because sometimes you need to put yourself in the table. So when you say, if it's possible or to be more accepted, then I will not be thinking, Florence, are you part of these people?
So you don't even want it to be accepted?
I don't want it to be accepted.
Okay, so I'm going to skip that question because if you do not want it to be accepted.
But then, we can't, I mean, I hear stories.
Yeah.
By God's grace, I may not be, but I've gone a bit deep into this, and I hear stories where some women, actually even here in Lagos, are taking their partners to places, you know, do this, do that. You see that they don't want any drama around that area. I know a lot of things are very
Really?
practical, I tell you. So
Wow.
in the nearest future, there are a lot of things that we may not. So I'm trying my best to be very factual about some of these things. So what will happen is, and what's the question again? What will happen? Because we can't say that will not happen. I'm thinking that the time will come where women will literally, it has happened, it started happening there.
Of course,
we know
yes.
anything that happens, they give it.
Mm-hmm.
So if
we
it
already
is
take
something
it
that
in.
we have seen, and with this Japa thing, the world is becoming mixed up,
Changing,
changing.
yeah.
So let's not deny. So I think it's okay to, so what will happen if
If women have to accept, what are the
accept-
things that needs to happen for polygamy to be accepted by women?
okay, they should what are the things that need to happen? Parenting has to be put into very good perspective. Look at the effect of all of it. How do you think this will affect our children in the future and all of that? So if they can put that in place, if they can put their old age in place also, at the end of the day, who is going to be there with who and all of that. So those are just some basics. So if they can put all of these things together, because like, yeah, I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I try not to. I know I won't do it. Because Chris, my husband is listening. If you try,
Florence is telling you if you try it. I'm having you to ring the alarm again so that it sinks in.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so let's talk about Regina. Regina is quite young, and we obviously know that her husband Ned Woko is much older, and we know he has wives. Do you understand? So, what would you say was the math that Regina played, or the math that Ned Woko solved, and was able to get him a wife that, you know, they flow. You could see it online. Maybe it's just the life online. We do not know, but at least they show us they're okay, they're fine, they love each other, they hang out, they do family things together. But most times, people keep saying, or we still see only Regina and Ned more often, even in the political areas. They're always together. So, what do you think was the math solved, the solution that they had to, you know, put for themselves to be able to work things out like that?
All right. So I try my best not to talk about a situation or a case that I don't have absolute idea and details. I have seen things on social media, and I have seen some of these people still come to the office. And I'm like, so I mean, I look at social media. People like us,
social media life is very different.
no. So it's about, when we say it is light, it is actually very true. You know, there's the way you say social media, don't get carried away with social media. I can tell you for a fact plus truth. That's, forget it. See, people like me, I don't even bother a bit when I see things on social media. Do you get? So based on that, I can't tell you absolutely. But if you want to look at the face, just look at it, you know, the way it is. Well, doesn't, maybe because they are both screen people. Okay. So we may have the other wives, they are not. I mean, she's a celebrity. Yeah. She's an actress, a very good one at that. And so she has her own fan. Uncle Nedu has his own fan and all of that. So they have a meeting point. They have something in common, and that's what happens in marriage. Even when you have just one wife and one husband, we tell people, build together, have something in common that you can have meaningful conversations. So the two of them can actually talk about things. The two of them know how to handle fans because they both have fans. So they have things in common. Most likely the other ones, we don't even know them. I don't know anyone. I don't know. I really don't know anyone. But so that's what you look at. The fact that they both have something in common. They can be in the crowd and they know how to
manage everything.
So he would rather go with someone that understands decorum, understands courtesy, understands so many things, because there's actually a way to go about it. So I would say that.
Okay. All right. So I saw a training video, and this one, it was more like the divorce court. I follow their what are they calling it? Their program sometimes. So while following them, I noticed one particular one drew my attention, and this is a woman that was so overprotective of the husband, loved the husband. You know, women, we just don't know how to share. So with time, according to her, she said her work and everything was what made her a bit detached. Now, the husband was who brought her to court, telling the judge that, okay, she was always not available for intimacy. Whenever, excuse me, he wants to go ahead, she would just be like, okay, just do your thing and just go. Like, just do your thing and just go. And it doesn't interest the man because he wants more. He wants more emotion into the intimacy for it to work for him. So eventually, he decided to like, okay, what do you want me to do? Was like, the wife was like, you know what? If you want me to put it, okay, no, she told him that please go and look for anybody that tickles your fancy and just do this thing. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Just do it and come back. So he knew there was a problem. Like this woman that is always overprotective is now saying go outside that. So he threatened her and said, not really threatened, and I told her, okay, put it into writing. Let's put it into writing, the signature that you accept, so that tomorrow you won't use it as a form or an evidence for divorce. So she agreed and put it into writing. I can't even put it verbatim what she said, but I just knew something was definitely wrong somewhere. So she put it in that because of her work, her time, she's literally permitting her husband to do anything with any girl as much as he wants, or maybe not bring her home, but outside, let him have a girlfriend as much as he wants, because she's not ready and she just feels it's okay by her. So that letter was what brought them to court. And at the end of the day, the woman was like, definitely something is wrong with you, because you will not be able to say that to a man you love. You'll be able to protect her. Now, aside from the excuse that she's giving, it's her work time. She's always tired. She's taking care of the kids. As a therapist, what I'm just saying, just second guess, what do you think is the hidden fact that she actually is not even bothered that the husband might go out to sleep with another woman? What is that hidden fact that she's not ready to probably share?
Obviously, there's something, and it could be anything. It could be something in the childhood that is resurfacing.
Okay.
It could
Traumatic
be traumatic. Yeah. It could also be that, you know, some women are just protective, crazy about their husbands, maybe at the early stage of their marriage, but there are other things they're not building. They're not building sustainability. So she lost the ability to. She wanted to explore. So perhaps her job just opened her up to certain things, and she probably feels, so why am I? Yeah, because this thing we talk about that. Oh, why do I have to eat spaghetti every day? Why do I have to eat jollof rice every day? It is not just for the man. Working in this field has taught me that some women, in fact, some of them that still have conscience will have to literally complete head. Like I'm beginning to find it boring. Do you understand? So she probably just started out just like maybe some people just start, oh, SU, and they see other aspect of life, and they're like, okay, can it just be Libra? So that could also be that she got exposed to something and she felt, okay, I mean, what am I holding? Let me explore. So it could be any of that. It could also be something that the man did that is not that she's not finding interesting. May not also be finding the man attractive anymore, especially if she has probably seen a final man out there. So it could be anything. It could be any from trauma to wanting to explore to her kind of job. The question is, what kind of job does she also do?
True.
Yeah.
Because she said her job is taking more of her time.
Thank you.
And I know right there they work for hours. So what job would you want to do?
Come on. The babies.
Women, you're very dynamic.
And you know, I tell women we have to be very careful, and that's why I encourage accountability in marriage. You know, the other day I was telling my husband, I said, you know, you're a fine guy, but you see this thing I've always told you about, I'll buy it for you because I know you won't buy it. Why? Because the truth is, let's not deceive ourselves. This spiritual of, oh, you have a speck, and I said, my husband will steal. I am putting the speck in, and I will go and get it. There's always, and I tell him, I said, so I like calm guys. And thank God, I said, no wonder I married you because you're a calm guy. So when I see another calm guy, then I see another version, I say, that's what I'm talking about. Do you understand? So the problem we have is that we pretend a lot. And we think, you know, as you grow, your desires also grow.
Yes.
As you meet with people, yes, it changes. As you meet with people, you want more. That's why grow together and talk more. Was it in Nigeria? I know I've always used that video of one, I think it was a sentence, I don't know, that was saying that if you run after or you admire girls in uniform, you buy your wife one. But we miss that part. We miss that part of elevating your spouse to, of course, not doing it from a selfish angle, doing it for love, for you, for the betterment of your life. Thank you. So we miss out on that because we just think we are blind, we are spiritual, we are this. And are you not? That you admire someone does not mean you will go for the person. So let's be real.
I always say this now. So when you see something in another man, rather than going for that other man, why not look for that thing and put it into your husband? Try to put a little of it. Gradually, you find out that man doesn't even look. Because trust me,
It doesn't even look like
it. Doesn't. You might even get there and find out that oh no,
nothing. Nothing.
There's nothing there at all. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk about women that are now into polygamy. They are there now. I know some women are going through this now. Like you said, they decide to embrace the other wife, and she's loving the wife, and of course, maybe the man is someone that this is first wife. I don't play with her.
Yeah.
But you're my second wife. I always, attend to you, baby you, and everything. But there's this special respect he has for the first wife because he understands what it means for the wife to actually accept you. Now, some women have been in a fix whereby the lady, the second wife or the third wife, start getting jealous and trying to, drag the attention of the man away from the first wife. I just want to ask, at that stage now, what do you think a woman, which is the first wife, what do you think she can do to maybe balance the relationship between the wives? That is because I'm certain she probably has to still talk with other wives. And at the same time, talk with the husband. What do you think she can actually do to make sure that the family does not get divided?
Okay, number one, if she's a believer, if she believes in God, if she believes, I think she should pray. I think she should pray. But prayer is just the starting point. One of the things that prayer would do is to help you articulate your thoughts, help you understand and give you strength to go about it. Because I like to always think that marriage is spiritual. Okay, and then the next thing, I think she should consciously make sure that hate is not coming in. Yes, because it's a tiny line. Hate may want to come in.
Very tiny line between love and
very tiny. Just see, you have nothing to lose for being good. And I tell people you're doing it for yourself. Okay, so she should try as much as possible, and then she should show a lot of leadership, and she should, as a matter of intentionality, show that she's not contending. When a leader begins to announce their leadership, then you stop being a leader.
Right.
And so when you begin to emphasize on the fact that you're the first wife, you actually stop being one. Okay, so she should don't. We're not actually arguing or dragging anything. Then
you're the first wife, obviously.
Then the next major thing is to engage the husband. But she has to be careful because the other women like that, they are very, very crafty. They have a way of manipulative. That's it. They have a way of turning the table. So she should master that act. She should expect it and know how to go about it. And of course, table before the husband, but not castigating the wives, because knowing that they may have gone. I mean, these are just very traditional things. Look at your TV traditional. I mean, so those are just some of the things, and then she can seek help. She can seek professional help so that her mental health is also mental. Because trust me, I can't guarantee that it's easy.
I to be honest, I feel like for women, except maybe your religion accepts it and it's something that you just do regularly.
Yeah.
But if you're someone that your religion, your background, everything does not accept it, and it was just unfortunate for you to be part of a polygamous family. My darling, I think you should always see a therapist.
Yes, for your mental health.
You are going through a whole lot.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
I don't even want to think about it. Okay, last question before maybe not the last question, but for now, last question before we take a breather. Okay, how about some ladies? Now let's leave marriage. We're talking marriage. Some ladies now, because this is women. So men, I have a tip for you, but this program is just for ladies right now today. So for ladies who are young or who are single, let's just use single, not young. You're single, you don't have a spouse at that moment. And maybe eventually you got to have one. And while you're having one, you notice that you like 3 other men or 4 men because maybe they have these different attributes about them and all of that. How do you think a woman can? Because see, as much as men come out and are like, oh, I like to taste different soup and all of that, I keep telling them women can also taste different soup.
We said it
they can taste different soup.
I'm telling you.
And see, I even tell them, I said, a woman that can taste different soup is more dangerous than a man that can taste different soup. Because that woman has gotten to a point in her life that you don't even want to go there. She's as dangerous as anything. So a woman that probably wants to have a taste of those different soup, or she has had a taste of those different soup, like you said, some have even come to you and cry out for help. What are the advice that you give to them that they should be able to, so that they can curb or stop and just focus on one person?
The first thing, I think they will have to go back to their homes. They are married now, right? Yeah. So
no, I'm even talking about the single.
Single.
Yes.
Okay. If you're single, so you're dating someone, and then after, But you know how they say it now, when it comes to being single or dating someone, there are really no rules that keeps, because you are still actually technically free.
Single, yeah.
Actually, so if you want to look at it that way, so we'll just assume that you are just still trying to pick out. But if you think it's a pattern, if you think it's something that can possibly happen, because it's not all singles that behaves that way. Some people are actually very faithful. I'm dating this one. This is the person I want to marry, and this is it. Okay, yeah. So if this person finds herself that, oh, she's dating this person, and then she sees another, the first thing you should know is that you can't have everything in one. You will always have them scattered. You can actually have calmness here. You have neatness here. You have being handsome. You have being
emotional support.
You understand? So I mean, well, how do we now? So what she should do is to look for a way to synergize. Again, she will not have a total of all of them, but she can have a bit of all of them in one. So the first thing is for her to know that she's not doing herself any good by doing that. She's definitely not doing herself any good, and she's training herself to become promiscuous when she gets into marriage. Yeah, because
she'll keep looking for.
Exactly, that's what happens. Anytime you do that, that's the way you have been wired to. Whatever you do consistently becomes a part of you. So she should know that she's training herself unconsciously to become promiscuous. And now she really wants to settle down. But somehow the past life will make demands when you're already thinking you want to settle down. So she should acknowledge it, that it's a concern, especially if she does not enjoy that lifestyle and she doesn't want to encourage it in marriage. So she should know that, yes, she can't have everything in one. So how can she begin to put it into that one basket that she has chosen? The same thing with communication. Talk about it. I think she should always talk about the person. Talk with your man. Talk with your man. You guys should talk about everything. Because it is I'm not indulging men, but it's actually when a man tells you that I've moved on from some things, we can say 60% he has. If a man tells you that I'm not invested emotionally, we can say 60%, not 100. We can say 60. But if a woman tells you, I'm not, I can tell you 95% not, because we're not like that. Do you understand? So I would encourage that. They should just know that.
In fact, this is just for women, for men actually. If you feel like, okay, you're telling a woman, oh, because you don't tickle my fancy, I can't do this. A woman can easily change to make you love her back. But you see, when a woman shifts her, in fact, she's on 9 o'clock and she moves to 10 o'clock, you can't take her back to 9. Forget it. You cannot see. It would take the Lord, I don't know what to say, to actually take her back to where she was. But anyways, before we let Florence go, let's quickly go for another life tips for men, ways to avoid temptation. Avoid temptation. In fact, it's not just for men, both women, because we're talking about women right here. And even for children, you're still growing up, you need to be contented with what you have.